use a segmented mirror construction. It's basically Keck, but scaled up. It's like, well, we've demonstrated that we can do this with a 10-meter telescope. Let's do this with a 30-meter telescope. Yeah. So it avoids those issues. Now the ELT is a little bit larger, and they don't have experience with construction. And so that is a much more. I think that one is a much more risky proposition.
It's some responsibility.
Then his recommendation is if it was in orbit, you take this mirror into orbit. I think he was probably didn't know he's what about that as an option? Because I actually had talked after the Oxford. I was walking out of there with a guy who turns out to be an executive director of blank telescope. But he was actually mentioned to me, he loves his science. Loves his science. Yeah. And so we have very much respect. Yeah. We understand the amazingness and the awesomeness of his science. It's amazing. But in this, he said, but we also respect our own. And he said, if it was up to him, why would you so what would you do? He said he would put it. Is that ever?
That's the thing, like, you come here and get that.
Okay, sure. In terms of
so, you know, I come to you.
It's not an option in political terms, in engineering terms, and in political terms. I mean, can you see Ted Cruz voting to build another like? He wants to disband NASA. It would never happen. In engineering terms, we don't have the payload to be able to do that. What would require is to take in sequence pieces of a telescope, assemble it in space, test it in space. You could see, this is.
But it is possible. It's just expensive.
It is. It's not just simply expensive. It is outside of our capability right now. And for the
wait a few more years.
No. Not a few more years. Maybe a few hundred years. I'm very pessimistic. I am very pessimistic on our ability to do anything as a country with big projects. Which is really
right,
sad.
because, you know, because we have set up. Because wasting all its money on big projects like this when you have starving people.
Well, because we have people like Ted Cruz. You know, in my opinion,
yeah. Should be very true. Is there other options to consider?
In terms
as like a second.
Okay, sure. So the only other area that is compelling.
What's that?
They try to consider Mexico.
Oh yeah.
I think probably Arizona. The only other area that is compelling is where that is at least within striking distance in terms of.
Well, and
it's Congress who's supposed to have all the power.
Even though
that is where the
Republicans would like to characterize 39. Obama is trying to be.
It was originally 100, then it went down to 60, then it went down to 42.
100?
Yeah.
Talk about jumping the gun. What's the biggest one?
All the laws are set in.
I mean, the optimal one Fred is got.
Well, all those guys are already
one that actually
gerrymandered,
does.
right?
Yeah, there's one in the Canary Islands that's slightly bigger, but it's a crap. That is 10 meters.
10 meters, so they're just going to jump straight to tripling.
But for example, we do have the LBT, which is a Canary Islands. It effectively functions as yeah, basically. Yeah. So, so it's not. Yeah,
Got a handle. Scary good.
Like, yeah, we're gonna build a space elevator or something like that.
I got a question because I've been a part of this process. I sit on council on the advisory board to the office.
Okay.
As far as that side, I can tell you they don't listen to anything we say. They don't sit down at the table with us. They can come down and tell us, oh, you guys need to approve all kinds of stuff. But then when we give our monotmo about it, our advice about it, thrown out the window.
Well, if they do that, they're assholes. I'm sorry.
So they are. Hey, who got that on video?
I actually do.
I mean, no. Maybe they don't see it that way. Maybe they really feel like, but they, they should listen to you.
Oh, especially if they're gonna mandate us out of state. But anyway, so 2006 or 7, Caltech and somebody from some other telescope. Yeah. I forget his last name.
Not Picard. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came down and offered pretty much the 4 of us at the table. Had all the elders on one side, and they pretty much said that they would give us a scholarship. And
That
I
seems
asked them-
reasonable to me.
I asked them at the
Sounds like a
time.
bribe to me.
Okay.
What is the practical application of what they're doing? So I'm going to ask you the same question. What is the practical application of what you guys are doing in studying the stars? Because if it's just to jump on another planet that's so many billion years away that we're not going to ever reach.
No, it's not to jump on another planet. No, it's to answer fundamental questions about our place in the universe, about the structure of the universe itself. So, like, really basic questions.
So is
Like-
that
like-
not
like-
the-
like-
our perspective though, that this is the basis of our foundation of where we come from?
What do you mean? So, what do you mean?
Because with the search for space, what you guys are trying to do is find the fundamental building blocks of where humanity came from.
So it's not just that. So we're asking fundamental questions. Like, for example, when did the universe begin? What is the general? The universe is made out of? Fill in the blank.
Have you read?
The crazy thing is that we actually did not know the answer to that question until about 15 years ago. So,
Who did it?
Adam Rees and Salt Perlmutter. They won the Nobel Prize in Physics a few years ago. So they actually showed, for example, that the universe is comprised mostly of what is called dark energy. This is 0 point energy, essentially negative pressure, and that thing that we cannot see, taste, or touch controls, drives the evolution of the universe.
And that's what we call a cool.
How did we live?
But we are able to quantify that. We're able to understand in practical, in quantifiable terms what that is and how that literally affects. It affects not just simply that it's there and that there's a lot of it, but it affects the purest of galaxies. It affects the evolution of galaxies in the Milky Way and the dimension as a byproduct of systems like this. It's a fundamental thing. We did not know the answer to that except for about 15 to 20 years ago, and it was this mountain that was critical in being able to do that.
So now that you do,
So it's a
Yes.
never-ending quest.
We know it's there. We know very coarsely what it is. We are just starting. The theoretical physicists who try to actually explain it are even like people who are 10 times smarter than I am crash and burn. They're falling on their face because they do not understand this yet.
Probably because they're looking too far up there.
Don't even worry about down
And
here.
this is what actually helps us take care of.
I
Now we're getting into culture.
well,
But not only
here's the
culture.
interesting part though.
Okay, sure.
Where you guys won't clash is quantum physics. Quantum physics is science, correct?
Yeah, of course.
And they're identifying what happens to the molecules on that level and the structure of those, yeah?
Well, yeah. I mean, when I think of quantum physics, I think even more fundamental. But yeah.
Right, so
So I
instead
mean,
of
what the practical
letting us get
application, I guess what we can
back,
use out of the
we can
quantum
go
physics.
ahead
But if I take
in
one
order to
40,000 line equation and look at them, I have no idea what I'm going to do with that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you show me a picture of how the atoms and all the molecules line up, I can tell you that that's exactly our spirituality and that's what we practice. It's how to realign those molecular structures to the point where we're using the quantum physics of our minds and the pineal gland in order to align those vibrations to where we need them to be.
Yeah, but that's very different from the scientific understanding of quantum physics, and like
And that's what we
and to us, you know, I mean, I try to respect culture, but to us it seems like that's like, for example, I see some maybe like Deepak Chopra who claims that we can use quantum physics to do this and this. He has no idea what he's talking about. Now, his background I don't think is quite as rich as the native Hawaiian.
has never struggled in
I personally see him as a bit of a fraud, but this is a lot more confusing to me. You know, and to be very honest, you know, even though I go up to Mauna Kea, I don't, you know, my background on Native Hawaiian culture and customs is weak to the point where I wish I knew more. I'd be happy.
It's a good study.
Well, once you do that, you find that a lot of what resonates with a lot of
He could be just sitting in
something that
an SUV somewhere. Yeah, so
what is that
this is a good conversation.
from your perspective, what is that connects you? From the scientific perspective, what is that?
The scientific perspective, what is it?
It's the indigenous culture.
Well, I mean, I'm not an anthropologist, so I don't really have that quite that bad. I mean,
That's
I
part
can
of it.
guess at it. I can guess at answers. But you know, but again, I'm an astronomer. I'm not an anthropologist.
But that is our part of the science. The University of Hawaii likes to separate and identify very specifically what everything is. But when you do that, if I break it arm off your body, you can identify what happens to the rest of your body.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You have to understand this is kind of a more general. You know, and to be very honest, there are some scientists, you like I said, like I'm Roman Catholic, and I came down from the mountain to go to the Eastern Mountain. I was like cracked out, tired, but I still did that. There are some scientists who say no. The only thing that exists is when we can see testing, when we can test empirically. God is a superstition. All these, these are. This is just like astrology. This should be. This is backwards and whatever. Now, I think that creationism is wrong, and there's certain things that are wrong, but I think that is a very, it's a very narrow-minded way of looking at it.
Well, even the way that we use language and understand each other, right and wrong, doesn't fit in any other framework besides the monotheism. He's not wrong, I'm not right. He gets his perspective.
Once you put your guard down.
So we disagree on certain things, we can disagree on certain things, at the end of the day, we still stand. Because maybe you're right. I don't know. My perspective is my own. So it's hard to say that with what we see with science contradicting itself and always explaining and clarifying. Oh, we had this, and then we did this study. That was
Okay, good. Well, that's the okay. First, as somebody who like I reviewed papers. So I've reviewed papers for Nature.
It's the quality of
so one of the things that is very true and that a lot of people don't understand, there's a lot that gets published that is wrong. And it's really is a product that in a way that I think that's good because those arguments are aired, and here come the other people and like no, the nature of science is almost usually to tear things down. It's like to be to.
So if you think it's ugly, how do you still think it's a state?
America could not annex another country today for so therefore we're not possible.
So again,
that's the only thing.
Again, this is what happens.
I do astronomy. I don't do.
Exactly. So you should let that happen. Like telling you this is not a state. I tell you straight up. You know the stars. I know that this is not a state. I want him to tell me.
My grandma guys are behind the whole
No.
There's no way that the astronomy outweighs our culture. Our mechanism of expression.
I agree that
There's no way that astronomy outweighs our mechanism of expression.
You believe that, but
I believe that a lot of people believe that. So I think I agree that we do have to take a more focused approach. And we do have to be more consistent. So for example, I understand, at least I understand it was claimed, that when the construction was going on a few days ago, there was no cultural that should not have happened. That should not have that should not have happened.
Tell me, all those telescopes, how much of them are working?
How much
Are you sure?
I know.
what are you? Are you an astronomer?
Yes.
What are you? What exactly?
Sure. So what I try to do is I try to find planets or I image planets. I use high consciousness orthopic systems.
Yeah, but they have many different telescopes that are better, like in the safari, like some of the deserts.
They don't matter. Ours is the best kind.
It is.
Well, the top is the best. I mean, yeah, this
Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?
I know. That's why we have everybody scrapping over our land since
Kansas, go to Kansas and build the telescope on your house, right on your property, go build it right there.
I tell you, if we did that, I did the first one, probably get torn down by a tornado.
Yeah, all right.
This might get torn down by a volcano.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go to Kansas and build me a big pool and just swim in it and, do whatever I want over there. That's what I'm saying. You just come in over here and building whatever you want on our.
to be in America. I think that's what we have fun with.
How is this? You can't even tell me that this is a state. It's not a state.
I'm not aware of the details on this exactly.
Well, you know, he actually came here to make an argument. Yeah. And his argument is about why.
There's no legality.
No. Give me this question. You can bring that in.
Have you been in court?
Understand this is different compared to anywhere else.
Okay, so what I'm saying. Sure. So what I'm saying, and what I told your colleague,
Bow down to that.
We have to accept
Why do I want to go do astronomy in Argentina
It doesn't mean it's not
or
true.
other countries when I can be in Hawaii where it's beautiful?
You can go visit McDonald's too.
Huh?
You can go visit McDonald's here.
McDonald's.
More familiar stuff.
So,
It's true, people like to go come here.
America, the same thing as City of America saying Congress
Yeah,
repassed
they
the
do go
law
McDonald's.
that's going to annex China. America can say
I
that.
wouldn't doubt it.
That's an American law.
So, okay.
You can't impose American law outside
Especially on
of the law.
military bases. They probably have them all.
That's what America did. They tried, and the reason why they had to do that is because they attempted to annex Hawaii. But they couldn't annex Hawaii because in 1897, 40,000 Hawaiians alive, 38,000 signatures totally gathered protesting the annexation of Hawaii. So therefore, America, they passed a joint resolution after Congress again, having no authority and not being able to impose any authority outside of the boundaries of America's territory. So Hawaii is not part of that. So therefore, everything since then is illegal.
Let's take probably some what comes over this side.
Never been legally annexed by
And, you know, and when you go to court and you tell them, hey, you don't have jurisdiction on me, the court will say, yeah, but we have subsequent derivation by title of U.S. Do you know what that means?
So guys, that is my focus is with astronomy and my focus, my background.
Well, because now you're admitting my focus.
No, I don't feel like it's useful right now in this context to justify the legality of the state of Hawaii or the satellite. That is not something that. No, what I'm saying is that is something that is.
clarify the fact that no matter how
That's not something that we just
want to do.
The thing that we can, where both you and I have some background in terms of what the plans are and what we can do to consider the other significances in the focus.
Simple question. You would quit your job for study astronomy. Would you quit your job and not get paid? You do that for free. Because everybody here doing this for free.
Oh, I do it for free.
Wow, I just get plenty of come back next year. Oh, today.
But do you have the resources? If you never have any money, you wasn't getting paid, how are you going to drive up this hill?
Well, you would have to use archival data. So you'd have to do things that you knew were not what you wanted.
Well, I would. I'm asking you.
Well, I'm saying for me.
The best time of
But if you quit your job, you didn't have any resources, would you still be doing it?
astronomy.
I mean, I'd be able to do it sometimes, but not nearly as much.
I don't know. Is that
So
that's part of
so
astronomy?
that when we're talking about what we like doing,
When you watch
that's
the
$1 a
moon,
year
you
per
figure out when it's time to
Yes.
plant your seed.
That-
You do
think that should be changed. Should be changed.
When was the lease created?
The lease was created in 1968.
How long? If you add up how many dollars a year are we getting, supposed to be?
Not very much, no.
Compared to how many hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay, sure. Okay, yes. Okay. That is a very, very good. So that's a very, very good. Now, they might come back and say, well, as a byproduct of the telescopes, you have all this economic development. That may be true. I don't think that's enough.
You understand from our perspective, the money
is worthless.
We don't use them. We use them because the American system forced us. If we never have America imposing daylight on us, you see what I'm saying? Nobody wins. Nobody from the guys who are offered us have to pay one. That's all used by our community. And that is every single day in our lives.
Rich man to stay rich.
We don't care about the money. You can bribe me all day long. I have no use for it. It's your stuff. Not mine. So how is it equal when the only thing you can get for free with us?
I understand.
The real problem.
They take our mountains, right?
We have to do.
We'll take 5 or 6 of yours.
I agree. No, I agree. We have to do more. I absolutely. I agree that the TNT has been terrible. So they feel they are upset. They're angry because they feel like
that's nothing to do with
they feel upset because they feel like they want the process of trying to reach out to the Hawaiian community, trying to reach out to society that was not only good for astronomy, but that minimized culture. Had a very small viewpoint that was outside of the region, outside of the line of sight. That was not the site of burials or shrines. They feel like they feel like they did that, and they were upset that. Now all these are coming back. My response to them is that may be true, but that's ignoring reality. The reality is that there are people here who are upset, and so you have to go talk to them again. And I'm not going to wait on them to go. I'm not going to wait on them to go talk to you. I could be preparing for my observations. I could be reducing. I could be doing all that stuff. I think it's important to talk to you because nobody else is doing that. Right? I'll be happy to talk to you more. I think it's important to talk to you. And if they don't want to do that, they're being stupid and they're being insensitive. And I'm going to do what I can to pick up the slack.
I appreciate that. So we're trying to clarify that it's illegal, but let's forget about that for a second. Let's say Hawaii is a part of the place.
Yes.
It's not, but it's just
for the sake of argument.
So county laws. No buildings higher than 3 stories. Okay. Hotel developmental lands. No higher than 7 stories. That's the most lenient thing. And here on conservation, we're going to somehow allow a 8-story height.
And the ideas that are right, the ideas that survive that fire. So, for example, when the first evidence came out that we actually saw a planet for the first time, we saw it from a telescope from here, from Keck and from Gemini. First time, we have our solar system. We can look from the sky. You can see Venus. You can see Saturn. We had never seen another planet outside of our solar system until about 7 years ago.
But what is it going to do? What is it going to do for the future of our sustainability?
Okay. So I guess that is one of the things that separates astronomy from a lot of the other science, and also from technology development, from pure capitalism. We don't get into this to be rich. The car that I have, I've had that car for 10 years.
I'm curious. What is it going to do for our sustainability here on this earth? That's what I
to answer big questions about our place in the universe and about what the universe is as a whole, and to answer that in a way that has never been answered before. So I would say that is the now in terms of practical consequences. Sure, there are some practical. Do any of you have cell phones with a camera? Yeah. Yeah, that was from astronomy.
I love this one. Go. Yep.
Right? You know, there are other, there are image processing algorithms that have applications in medicine. For example, for the language that I use, the algorithms that I use have very strong. They save people's lives, and those are developed. That language was driven in large part by the interest of astronomers. The need to be.
I think
Did you ever replace this?
Have you ever replaced the eye?
So, yeah, it's going on right there between me and you. You can feel what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, yeah.
You cannot do that on a cell phone.
No, of
you
course
can
not.
never ever replace that connection. That's what we're talking about being not opposite.
Yeah, I feel cell phones are taking away the interaction that humans use.
Oh no, I agree.
So once again, what's the practical application?
And it's also killing people
Well,
on the highway.
the more we're getting disconnected.
Well, we do have to keep grounded. I absolutely.
Yeah. And for us, that's why it's hard for us, many of us. Like one of the big things that we see, the crumbs they're trying to throw at. Some of the crumbs they're throwing at us to try and satisfy us. Oh, we're going to give them $1 million. We're going to give them.
Do you feel like do you feel like that is a bribe? Or do you feel like that is
It's a bribe.
Pennies.
Totally.
Okay.
Because really, if you look at the masses of how many people are interested in science,
And they're going to give them $1 million. Wow.
why is it that the whole of everyone would have to sacrifice our aquifer at stake?
That is not an issue.
That's common
Oh,
sense.
no.
There's no hydrologists who work for you way to get the studies. Probably, the other ones they're putting French drains.
No, I mean there are some hazardous materials that and the TMT people did get in trouble where some idiot somewhere said that no, we don't have any hazardous materials on the mountain, and then some people don't have that. Yeah, and that was and it's really like even Subaru has that, and there have been spills. Those spills were internal. That's just the nature of the beast. It doesn't, just
But
having
if the beast wasn't there, then there is no.
It'd be back to how our component kept it, which was pure.
And this is one thing that we always pinpoint is the telescope itself.
Okay.
You see that road? Your grader go up twice a week on that road.
The what does?
Grader. The grader. Keep the roads flat for you guys. Not for us. Because we don't go all the way up there all the time. You guys go up every single day. So that grader twice a week does what?
Well, it goes through its levels the ground.
Using hydraulic fluid, using oil. I mean, those fuels go someplace, right?
Well, yeah. The fumes of that car.
See, right? And that's why we don't come up here. You see our point? That's exactly why we don't come up here.
No,
Only because of this.
You can tell me, you can answer this, and you're probably gonna say yes. Humankind is damaging this earth.
Yes, but it's not as astronomers who are doing this. People like the Koch brothers who are doing that.
If you damage the top of the mountain, what happens to the bottom of the mountain?
No, that's not.
All is one.
No. The main aquifer is between Mauna and Mauna Kea.
Yeah, but what do you think this causes? This causes that. This causes.
No, I'm sorry. That's
this
wrong. They have detailed studies.
This causes our wetland forests to grow. This does.
I'm sorry.
This protects.
So what do you think will happen to all the water that collects in there? Where does the water go?
Oh, of course they're going to say.
And a lot of it seeps in.
But it's not going to get into the water cycle. This was. There are many understandable worries about the future. This is not one. This is one we can actually.
I'm sorry, but if you drop your shit and your oil on the mountain and it gets in the water and it goes in, it's gonna get there.
I understand the general concern with that, but the study that specifically addressed this, this is not.
Yeah, and who was the study? That's what I'm also saying. All the ones who did the studies are the ones who are paid by the ones who are gaining.
So you feel like this. Again, we're not the Koch brothers. We're not the oil companies. This is what is bewildering to people like us. Like we see the way in which the astronomy community is portrayed, and we have no idea. Like, who are these people that they're talking about?
You.
No, like
you don't get it.
Okay. let me give you. It'd be like if you were being portrayed in the newspaper as being backwards, as being able to go with the times.
Yeah, they
as
try
I
to
think
do that.
yeah, and that would be wrong, right? And if somebody were portraying you that way, you would look at it and be like, who are they talking about? That's not me. That's how I feel in the way in which astronomers are being portrayed.
Well, that's right. We're not saying that astronomers.
Yeah, it's just the area where it's at.
Who are part of the astronomy community.
Right.
Actually, you know, you
Young brothers is part of the
Whoever's building
you can do astronomy
TNT.
anywhere. You don't have to do it here.
This is by far the best site to do it. I'm sorry.
And Chile.
I'm sorry, it was ours first.
Yeah, and then they did it anyway in Chile to race against here and Chile.
Yeah, but this site is actually a little bit better. So
Yeah,
for example,
but they did it anyway. They promised us that it would be one site, us or Chile, and then now they're doing it anyway. They're racing each other.
We're being
Oh,
schmoozed.
that's all
That's all it is.
competition.
okay, sure, but for
Being
example, the
schmoozed.
science capabilities, the focuses are a little bit different. Because the stars
Yeah, that's why we already have 13 telescopes.
Weather needs to step down, I think. Call already.
For example, the CSO is being commissioned.
It's not working to tell your director. It didn't work.
Just trying to get a
It
connection.
didn't work.
No, I think the guy's sincere about what he's talking about. He wants to try and understand.
I think he's a PR dude. And he needs to be careful.
We're the ones who live
His
here.
laws are so strong, he doesn't want to understand too much beyond what makes him uncomfortable.
For me, it's systemic.
It would be very lucky that half of the telescopes.
Okay, sure. And let me tell you, I would be perfectly.
It's just like, look how much in the press that they keep talking about how this is the most powerful in the world. It's not. They're building two other larger ones. You know, as we speak, they'll be done, have first light sooner. But there's just.
Well, I'm sure they see it as healthy competition to get more information about the basic fundamentals of the universe.
It's just you need to be more radical. These talks are great, but he's PR.
Okay, if we're going to have the TMT,
It's not getting us, anywhere.
why do we need Euclid? Why do we need CFHT? Why do we need the S? Why do we need these others?
I don't like getting in the middle of that. I feel like sometimes as a non-Hawaiian,
It doesn't matter. If you're supporting Hawaii, then you're in, bro. Don't worry about it. Plenty of non-Hawaiians are part of the kingdom and
now the rule of those supporting. No, that's a fact. I've gotten into arguments with other astronomers about that.
So your bottom line is just you think that in 30 years
Oneness.
from now, the astronomers' generation should have places to come so they can look at the stars.
Yeah,
and stuff. That's
accountability.
your bottom line.
My bottom line is that we're going to have anything on the mountain, if we're going to have any astronomy facility on the mountain, it should be, in a sense, worthy enough.
There's no if.
Yes.
That we cannot understand. So for instance,
What is his title?
That's his job.
Is he PR?
His job. He doesn't want to lose his
He's an astronomer.
If I was
And he wrote, I think he wrote one of their contracts or something.
CFHT, those are coming down. Those are coming down. The telescope should be deconstructed. They should be. You should see caravans of pieces of that telescope come down off and up.
Where do they go?
Be recycled. They'd be put in. Be sold. Yeah. They'd be. There would be other institutions who might be interested in them. For example, like India and China have burgeoning astronomy schools. They
would let that happen, yeah. Just let all the telescopes come down.
Okay. Well, not just some.
I just don't like how we have to be passive.
Yeah.
How it's like, oh, simmer down.
If they're going to abide by the
be passive.
Judging by the
Just
And so what I'm saying, like I agree there should be and the ones that should be on those should be worthy. Should actually tell us something. Okay. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but my bottom line is just no more.
I said, why don't we decommission all
Who's going to get it from both sides?
And then have proper dialogue with CFT and the Hawaiian community where there's a global consensus. That way we're not sitting people have to discuss in a respectful way between both communities to have conversations instead of my way or the highway.
Yeah, so
part of that is because that middle ground was passed along. The pools that were leveled cannot be pool. They can never. So we've already compromised.
So you feel like
well, the thing was our kupuna did allow to share this moment. Yes. And then they went again and 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 again, and now they want to go again. So the middle ground was way past.
I understand your point.
And that's history, and that's our TMT is coming in at the far end of that. So it's hard for us. How can we go back to the start? And how can we try? Because the original TMT, or the original Mauna Kea Memory Plan project 3.
And they're obviously more than 3. Yeah.
And then they change. So how can we try? And like you're saying, they're going to get obsolete, so we can move these. Well, after that, when those are obsolete, what are they going to do? Put a bigger one?
No.
No is what they said.
Okay, sure. I understand what you're saying. You're saying that there's that they say there will be no more development. You're saying there's no basis to trust them. I'm okay. No, I understand what you're saying, and so I think one thing that would be that you could do. And as a astronomer, I would be 100% right. With the new master lease, they say
but that's okay.
that there will be no new developments, no bigger telescope on the mountain after the TMT.
Until they change the law.
Until they change their master lease.
Well, so we could work together to do as much as we can to ensure that happens.
That's an interesting question. How did you guys get around the building?
Get around the building? I'm not familiar with that.
It's 18 stories, right?
18 stories is 3 times the legal limit.
18 stories is only 30 feet higher than Super. Super's on the mountain is 150 feet tall. So that's another thing. That's another thing that frustrates me. Because I see this monstrosity.
I'm like my ears.
So it's 180 feet. It's the one I work on is 150 feet.
Does everyone else
I don't know that, no. I think it was in terms of like the height that you need actually.
Yeah, but we have a building.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so to be very honest, I do not know the details.
Oh yeah, Uncle Jerry is a good friend of my dad's. Yeah, my mom too. When you speak Tahiti, she lives with us. Because he went to go
No, not Canada.
One of them has a
I'd be very surprised. But like, for example, Subaru, which was the second largest Subaru. There's like maybe like a half story. It's not this big quarry underground. I don't know the details, but I think maybe in terms of what they need in order to support the structure. Now that may be different than what the actual final telescope. It's not like you get into an elevator, there are 18 floors. Sure.
Just to tell you perspective.
Yes.
Who owns Water University?
Who owns all
that type?
Okay, so
because there's more than one type of science.
One more type of science, yes.
Because science is just like the study of like the observation of like the study of the
So you say there's astronomy, there's biology, there's geology. Is that what you're saying?
In biology, there's a perspective of the biologist who wants to quantify and rip apart and look at the very basis of something. And then there's the biologist who understands it as a whole.
Yes.
And those are two different perspectives. Yes. And right now what we have are universities that cut stuff up and understand them from dissection instead of understanding as a whole.
Well, probably UH. There are some universities that actually don't do that. For example, Arizona State has a much more systematic look at, for example, the interplay between geology, astronomy, physics, chemistry, and they do see this as a whole. And that's a big movement right now within the university. And I agree, I think we should do that. So for example, as an astronomer, I can't do what I do unless I understand physics. And as somebody who studies extrasolar planets, I can't do what I do well unless I understand chemistry. And so you can't just hold yourself up in your corner of the universe and not talk to the scientists. You have to understand
And from my perspective, I cannot do what I do without waking up and seeing that Mauna Kea as it's supposed to be. That's my perspective. From my cultural side, from my scientific side, from my understanding of what I believe I can be and what I believe I need to be there for culture and what I do.
Okay. I guess I was interested in that question more in terms of a mechanistic way of like in terms of
right, because that's how we're taught in the university.
Well, but it's also that's what I do. So I need to be able to understand. I need to understand what carbon monoxide looks like. I give you my
Please stay at the I love you guys.
So it's Spain, TJ1, so that's the email address. I'm local. Anytime you want to talk about this, when you're concerned that astronomers are not your enemy. I know. We're not your enemy, and I want to know what struggles you guys are facing. The state or the University of Hawaii is doing stupid things, and doing immoral things to keep you from practicing. Like I don't know, like they say, oh, you can't go to that site.
We just all got arrested over there.
Yeah.
No, I just got it.
But I get.
No, I had some contract for 15, 16 years.
I've seen this lately. So I've seen that one. Also, there's the Hawaiian statehood, which was it was actually interesting to learn the path, after the overthrow, which was illegal.
Yeah.
That was unlawful. After that, to see the path.
Why was it?
Especially my dad used to be in Florida. He says that America does not follow the rulings of the Hague courts. They don't. It's like the whole world. The whole world.
Because in the 1850s, half the U.S. was so racist they were so that was
trading things out. America does not
annex it later on.
have to do it.
Exactly.